Hey everyone, welcome back to something. I don't really know. We don't really know what we're going to be calling this podcast. We don't have a name for it yet. We need to actually sit down and come up with a name. But welcome back to the stream. Hi, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's up, Plump Turtle? What's up, Jessica? Wendolyn, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Mosquito, how you doing? Town Talk, what's going on? How does everything sound? Because I'm using a completely new soundboard kind of thing here, mixer, and we've been playing around with it all day. Well, I've been playing around with it all day. Liza's been not playing around with it.
I was at work.
Yeah.
So
it sounds good. Sound is good. Anyone know why he doesn't also stream on YouTube? I can't. I'm partnered on Twitch. You can't stream on YouTube if you're partnered on Twitch. But, never know. But anyway, welcome to our podcast. We don't have a name for it yet. This is Alyssa. You guys know Alyssa. Today, we're just going to be, this is like a test trial of new hardware, new software. We don't even know what we're talking about tonight. We're just going to figure it out as we go along. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
How was work?
I'm not allowed to discuss work. I'm not.
You don't work at NASA or something.
Everything that I'm doing is classified.
It's not really. It's not. Rookie, thanks for the 100 bits. Do appreciate that. I saw we had a bunch of resubs earlier. I really can't see them.
No, work was
Mac,
good. Sorry.
You just that was 30 seconds ago. You had an opportunity to talk about work.
Work was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe. Who? What? Who?
Anyway, Eliza had the idea to do for our first podcast to kind of talk about ourselves a little bit. Go through a journey of our relationship or
yeah, because
something.
at first he wanted to talk about current events with a certain celebrity couple, and I said a good segue before that would be us talking about our relationship and how we got through not the best type of relationships, and we brought ourselves to each other, and how that all happened. Not every relationship is perfect, no matter how things may appear, and I think a level of transparency would be beneficial.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
I just kind of want to talk about our relationship, like how we first met, how long have we been together? How long? We've been together since I moved down here. So I moved down here.
Well, not since you moved down here.
Well, relatively.
The day you moved down here, we didn't get together.
I moved to Orlando in, I think it was February or March. I think it was February or March, and then you and I got together. Oh no, it was a while later because we got together around December.
Oh yeah. So you had time to mess around with other men and stuff like that, right? Before you got to me.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh.
Not mess around, but I when I first. Okay, just a little background story about me. I'm from up north. I'm from New Jersey, Philadelphia area. So I moved down here for a job. They paid for my move. So it was an offer you couldn't refuse. What, you guys are going to pay for my move? You're going to move my car down here and give me money to move? Yeah, I'll do it. And I was actually in a relationship at the time, but I wasn't really enjoying the relationship. So I kind of just took it as my out. So this is why it would be a good segue about toxic relationships. So there's different types of levels of toxic relationships.
It was toxic?
I wouldn't say it was toxic in a sense that it wasn't. Or maybe just not a good relationship, where you have two people where it's not blatantly a bad relationship. A blatantly bad relationship is if your significant other is cheating on you, or if your significant other is beating you or something like that. It just was a situation where we're well, at least I realized, oh, this is not going to work out in the long run. But you're a really nice person.
Isn't it the dude you were with a long time, right?
I mean, I don't believe in short relationships. So my shortest relationship was 5 years.
I'm stuck with you then.
My shortest relationship was 5 years. Before that, my previous relationship before that was for 7 years. So I don't believe in like a short-term relationship, because that's what dating is, in my opinion. So if I'm not going to be in a long-term relationship with you, I'm just going to date you for a period of time until I realize, oh yeah, we should be in a relationship. Whatever. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, sometimes when you have a relationship that just isn't working out, like, it's hard for you to get out of it. I'm sure somebody in here can relate, like, where everything's just real normal, like real vanilla. The whole relationship is very vanilla.
I've never had that before. It was just real normal.
You are a whole lie.
What do you mean?
Anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, anyway.
I mean, besides us.
What?
This is normal. You said normal.
I'm talking about boring, a boring relationship. It's just real vanilla. Like, you know what I'm talking. You guys know what I'm talking about,
I thought you meant
right?
I thought you meant like not like crazy.
See, Wendelin said I agree with that. My first boyfriend was like that. We were together for 2 years and it just was not right, even though he was really nice. Exactly. So like the person I was in a relationship was really nice person. It just wasn't working out. Like the spark wasn't there. Like I just felt like I couldn't be my full authentic self around with this person, because I just felt like, we weren't meshing. So, and when somebody's not blatantly bad to you, it's really hard to just leave them, So I took moving as a way out.
I just moved to a different state.
I had even mentioned it, like, hey, I'm gonna move, knowing that person probably wasn't gonna come with me. And if they did, it would have surprised me, and maybe that would have been the spark that we needed for our relationship to be where it needed to be. But I already knew he wasn't gonna come, so I left, and we just eventually just broke it off.
That's one way to do it. Just leave the state.
So because
just
of that,
leave the state, right?
Because I was in a relationship for 5 years, I always believe in a lot of time needs to pass of you being single and enjoying life as a single person before you decide to jump into a relationship. So yeah, to answer your question, I was dating.
Oh, that was answering the question?
Yes.
10 minutes later, what was the question?
You were saying, so you were just dating around before you. Yeah, I was dating around.
As you know, Eliza talks a lot.
I do. But I was dating around. I was in a new state. I had never lived in Florida before. I had never lived literally by myself. Like before that I was living with my ex-boyfriend of 5 years. We were living together. Before that I lived with my brother for a little bit, with my mom for a little bit. So to be 100% alone in a new state, yeah, I totally wanted to enjoy myself, like Town said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, being able to date around, meeting you, I knew what I wanted when I found you.
Okay. Well, maybe, so you had just came to Orlando, right? When I was probably around the time you came out. No. Around the time you said February, March.
I moved here February, March, yeah.
February, March. You moved here February, March. Okay, yeah. So that time I was still married. So we didn't even we wasn't even on each other's radar.
No, not at all.
So if you don't know that about me by now, that I was married to Timmy's mom. We got divorced, separated. It wasn't any kind of craziness going on. We just split. We decided that, we didn't want to be with each other. I kind of decided, and she accepted it. I'll say just to be honest, but it wasn't like a crazy split. You know how some divorces are like, they're fighting and it's all nasty and stuff. We're still cordial. Actually, I just saw her. Anyway. So the point I'm trying to make is that Timmy and I's mom, we got divorced. So I was single for a little bit. I went on a few dates with people. I wasn't dating around,
No, wait,
probably not as much as she was, but I went on a couple of dates. I went on a couple of dates with people, maybe 2 people before I met her. Actually,
yeah, okay, that's what I was about to say.
What were you about to say?
I was like, when I met you, you said you were you were separated.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, so you were still kind of fresh.
I was still kind of fresh. Okay.
Fresh off of being in a marriage is what I meant.
Yeah. What? Anyway, so before I met Eliza, I had went on a couple of dates with people I met off of Tinder. I was on. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we met on We met at a Bible study, Eliza and I. That's the story that we're sticking with.
Did not.
But before I met Eliza at the Bible study, I was on Tinder. I was a heathen, I was a heathen on the Tinder, and I met a few ladies on there. Didn't really pan out. We went on a couple of dates. Didn't really pan out. And then I hit up Eliza. I messaged her first.
No.
And then
first of all, you're already lying on your lie. You're lying on your lie. You just said I messaged Eliza. I thought we were in Bible study.
Yeah, I messaged you while we were in Bible study on the Bible app. You can message people on the Bible app. You don't know that?
The worst liar.
No, the Bible. You don't remember on the Bible app? The Bible app. I messaged you. Anyway, she doesn't remember. She doesn't even remember how
I'm not going to
we met,
corroborate
guys.
this story.
Hey, sweet, what's going on? How you doing?
When Eliza hated being on stream, I remember that.
You met your first wife. Yes, not your first wife. You met your wife on the Bible app too. Yeah, it's a good place to meet people. Christian mingle too. Anyway, no. We met on Tinder. And I, what is it? Swipe right? What is it called? Swipe right?
I think you swipe right when you like somebody.
You like somebody?
Right?
We both swiped right on each other. And then she sent me a message.
I messaged him first.
Because I just forgot. I just forgot. I just forgot. So she sent me a message. We started talking a little bit, and it transitioned over into talking on the phone. And then we finally met up in person. I've told this story like a dozen times now, but she was sick. She had like bronchitis or something. She was like coughing and sneezing all over the place.
I wasn't coughing and sneezing all over the place.
Didn't you say you went to the bathroom and threw up?
I did.
She was really sick, and she was fronting like she was. I didn't even know she did that.
Look, man, I was really sick, and my doctor had prescribed me to stay home for a month. I'm a very social person. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I'm a very social person. So to tell me to stay home by myself for a month was like a lot for me. And I was alone. I was a single girl alone in my house. So I was like he and I had started talking while I was sick, so that was great. But like I wanted to get out of the house. So I was like, oh, let's meet up. And we actually met up on Christmas Eve. Instead
of staying home for a month, she decided to potentially infect me.
Okay, first of all, it was a tail end of how long he told me to stay home.
Bronchitis. Imagine if it was COVID time and she's patient zero. Just walking out.
It wasn't
trying to go on dates.
It wasn't contagious. I was on antibiotics.
It's still contagious until you're better.
Not if you're on antibiotics.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, to just follow up, because you guys you make me sound like as if I just be throwing up places, but it's because I was not
Who made it sound that way?
I had not been eating a lot for a while because I was so sick. And then finally I went out to eat. And I ordered something that looked really great. It was like a skillet or something, but I think it was just too much for my stomach at the moment. And so I went to the bathroom and threw up. And then I chewed on some gum and spit it out and went back my way and came back to the table.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't do that often, guys.
I don't do that all the time.
She doesn't do that often. I mean, I don't know. You go to the bathroom. I don't know what you're doing there.
I don't be throwing up.
Okay. I hopefully not. I don't really know. I don't know. But anyway, that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship, and everything went smooth. Everything was just smooth sailing from there, day one until this point in which you're seeing.
That's a lie.
Now.
He's lying. Am I a Gemini? No, I'm a Virgo.
I am a Capri Sun.
He's a Leo. So he and I were together, and then he broke up with me. And I was very distraught.
I was just about to say she was distraught.
I was distraught.
It's not funny, but
I'm not gonna lie, because okay, so this may sound stalkerish, but like when he and I first got together, I already knew that I was gonna marry him. Like I already knew off the bat. You can even ask any of my close friends. They all said I was crazy because they're like, "Oh, how's this? How's that new guy you're dating? That YouTuber?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna marry him." And they were like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm gonna marry that man. I just know it." And they're like, "You're weird." I'm like, "I don't care." Look at my crazy eyes. I knew he was gonna come back because I just knew it. I just felt like he and I were like a good match for each other, and I did not believe that we were actually really going to not be together in the end. And yeah, he broke up with me. He even went and had a whole nother relationship after.
Did I?
I most definitely know you did. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, so Kang's the first person that's ever
Heather.
Kang's the first person that's ever broken up with me in my entire life. So it had thrown me for a loop. Like, I was like, whoa, like somebody broke up with me. Like,
I've broken up with a lot of people.
I've never had anybody break up with me. So I was like after that, I was just like dumbfounded.
I'm a habitual breaker-upper.
I'm the habitual breaker-upper. I'm the one who breaks up with people. So when I got broken up with, I was like, you're breaking up with me? So I was pretty distraught. So yeah, I was like, it was hard for me to get over it at first. And I was still very much in love with him, even though we weren't together. So I was constantly checking his social medias because I wanted to see how he was doing. Not on like a weird stalker thing, but of like I really care about this person, I hope he's okay type of thing.
Okay.
And then that's when you message me anyway. You message me. He messaged me first after being broken up. He messaged me first.
So yeah, I didn't have any really people to talk to or help me out in the situation that I was going through. And it just started off as, I needed a place to stay for a little bit, while I tried to figure out things that were going on. And also this hurricane was coming over. So I was like, hey, this is a crappy situation. So I ended up staying at her place for a little bit. We were still, we weren't together at that time. But, while we were there, we kind of just rekindled some things, some relationship stuff. And this was a time. This was the perfect time to bring someone close together. No, that wasn't happening. Why are you putting up Savannah? No, Savannah didn't happen during that time. No, this was a perfect time for some people to get close because that hurricane did come, right? And we didn't have power for a week. Like
a week. And we didn't have power. We didn't have hot water. We didn't have air condition. It was terrible.
So we literally just had to just sit there and just suffer with each other. It was crazy. But anyway, we kind of rekindled things during that time, that period of time. I didn't stay at her place. What happened? I went and got my own place because I didn't want to be like staying with her. It was just supposed to be like a momentary thing where I just kind of just got back on my feet. So I went and actually got a little small apartment. I got a room in a house. Actually, it was a weird little room in a house.
I remember.
I didn't have a bed. I had a blow up bed
that always
deflated. I streamed a few times in that place, and I had to
I was there for one of the streams.
I had to whisper because it was like, yeah, exactly. Because it was a room in a house, so there was a family living there too. So I didn't want to be all loud and stuff. So I had to be, hey guys, we're streaming today. We're playing some Mario Kart, guys. So hey guys,
I remember you were trying to stream like a scary game, and you were trying to be really quiet.
Yeah, I think one of the clips from the intro is from that house actually. But anyway, it was horrible. It was horrible. Couldn't do it. So we actually did end up moving back. So
into my place
after like a week or 2 weeks or something, it was just like, this is horrible.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense because I was.
Plus, we were dating at that. We were officially dating at that time. Yeah. So it's like we're wasting money, like being separated when we could just be saving money. Because we're already trying to save money and things like that. Wasting money on this stupid room that cost, I don't know how much, it was like $800 or something. I don't know. But it was dumb. So Ashley did end up staying at her place for a little bit.
I remember you used to stream in my apartment and you were saying my friends, this is before you introduced me as your girlfriend.
Really, was it?
I think so.
I was in your living room.
Yeah, because I remember people were commenting on the hookah in the background, and you're like, "Oh, that's my friends." I'm like, "I'm a friend."
But anyway, eventually we got back to the Airbnb and we did a small live stream where I just officially introduced her as my girlfriend, because I had never introduced her before. Even when we were dating before, I didn't really introduce her. But I brought her into the streaming world, it's been a wild ride since then, right? It's been crazy, right?
Yeah.
keep going.
I feel like anything else that we could talk about that in a different podcast, like where we talk about like strains in relationships and how to kind of overcome them. Because like I said, we're not perfect. There's been situations where he and I.
Oh, did you see it? Sorry.
There's been situations where he and I didn't we didn't see eye to eye about things, and a lot of relationships. I don't like it when people say that relationships should be easy, because they're not. Relationships are hard. It takes a lot of work, and so does marriage. Marriage as well takes a lot of work. It's not something that's easy, and I feel like what happens a lot, especially with social media and just movies and TV, a lot of people think that it should be easy. It's like, and when people meet a hardship in their relationship, sometimes what happens is that people are more inclined to like want to run away, or they're more inclined to give up because of what social media and TV tells you. They make it seem like it's supposed to be perfect. So why isn't this perfect? It's not. It's not. You have to work hard to keep a good marriage. And you have to work at it every day, and you have to make sure that every day is filled with good intentions. You have to make sure that you're very intentional with what you do with your partner. And that's the only way that marriages and relationships work. Thank you.
Correct.
But we could talk about that in a later podcast, because I feel like that's a whole different conversation, right? That's a whole different conversation.
Talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be here all night because it is getting pretty late. So let's segue a little bit. I posted a video today. If you didn't see it, check it out. So we can talk a little bit about the video, and also kind of just talk a little bit about, that whole situation that's going on. We're not really, I'm talking about Will Smith. We're not going to talk about the Will Smith slap, because that's kind of like blah. But there's been like some new information coming out about their relationship, and is it toxic? Is it abusive? All that fun stuff. Will may be in a bad situation right now, which may be the reason that he did what he did. It all kind of leads up to that. So, yeah, what do you think? I know you had a lot of thoughts about stuff you were talking to me about.
I mean, going back to just the beginning of all of it, when that situation first happened, my first reaction was like, is he okay? Because you have to think about it. Like, these people are celebrities, and they understand themselves to be public figures, especially somebody at the caliber that Will Smith is at. He understands the role that he plays as a celebrity. And for him to go out of pocket like that and slap somebody, that's completely out of character. So my first reaction was like, are you okay? Like, yeah. Are you okay? Like, I mean, I would feel that way about anybody that shows like a level of aggression that's not normal. I'd be like, are you good? Like, so it was definitely weird to see that. And I immediately just thought of it like something's wrong, and then as time had progressed with people like judging him, I'm like, I'm sure that's not making it any better.
Yeah, people were so harsh on him. And again, if you watch my couple of videos, you know that I don't agree with what he did, but I think people were just overly harsh on him. And I'll be honest, I think it was a combination of like people's fear of like black angry men, and also a touch of racism about how they were going so hard on him. I feel like every time a black man, especially a celebrity, does something wrong, people immediately just come down super hard on them, like extra hard on them, and it's obvious. It's obvious when you see it. So I just think that it was kind of crazy, and you got to realize that this person is still a human being.
Exactly.
And he's probably going through he was probably already going through a lot of stuff, and then everyone dogpiling on him just made it even worse. So I hope he's okay. He's made a couple of public statements, but those are kind of those are curated PR approved probably statements that makes him seem like he's okay, but you don't really know if someone's okay until sometimes it's too late, really, to be honest.
So exactly. I don't really agree with a lot of the backlash that he's gotten, and things like that, and then with the whole just to circle back what other people were saying about Jada and things resurfacing. When I watched your YouTube video and I saw that part where she was, asking him questions, you could tell that she was really egging him on, and it's stuff like that you kind of pinpoint as like, okay. And I'm not even trying to say that she's a terrible person. They could just not be right for each other. What happens when you have two people that don't work well together? They become bad people to each other. And I can say that from my own experience of being in relationships with people that it just wasn't working out. You become this person that you never were before because you're forcing yourself to make something work that's not meant to work out, And I think that's what's happening with the two of them, is that they don't really see eye to eye in a couple fundamental things, just based off of like how I see them interact with each other. And that's creating a very frictionless relationship, and it's causing both to kind of act out in a way that they normally wouldn't,
Exactly.
And I think that's something that needs to be looked at instead of saying who's right and who's wrong. I never believe in those types of things. I believe in understanding why that person is feeling that way or why that person is speaking that way. What is causing that to happen? That's what I want to know about, not point fingers at people.
Let's get back to this toxic relationship, though. So, yeah, you brought up the video with Jada, and someone else brought up a point. Yeah, you brought up a good point there. You're saying, maybe they're just not right for each other. And it was also mentioned, again, on Jada's own show, that she didn't even want to be married. She felt she was forced to get married by her mother because she was pregnant, and her mother would encourage her to get married. She said she never wanted to be married. On her wedding day, she was crying and miserable because she just didn't want to do it. And obviously, sometimes people change, so maybe after she got married, she had a couple of kids, Willow and Jaden. Maybe at this point, maybe she changed her mind. But again, just going off of what she said on her show with Will there and her mother there, she's like, I never wanted to be married. I didn't want to get married. And, her mother actually apologized to her for pressuring her to get married. I kind of see like a recurring theme when it comes to Jada. It seemed like everything is always about her, especially I know it's her show, but it seemed like everything is always about her. Like when she was revealing to Will that she cheated on him, it was all about how she felt, how she had to do it, not really addressing how he felt about it. And then when she was talking about the wedding thing, she was all about, I didn't want to get married. Her mom was like, I'm sorry I did this to you, but Will is sitting right there like, okay. And there was another story. I'm just bringing up all the stories. There was another story about how Will planned this huge birthday party for her. He took him 3 years to plan it, and then she straight up just told him to his face, like, she told him that she thought the party was his ego or something like that, and she didn't like it. After he spent 3 years planning this party just for her, he said it was the biggest show of your ego. It's like, so it's again, this is not like rumors or anything. This is things that she has said. It's like, you're saying these things and you don't really think in the back of your head like, this sounds bad. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this publicly. You know what I mean?
Just hearing stuff like that, it's just very like, it's almost kind of sad, because you have to think about it like you have these two people that probably are just in denial, or maybe maybe they know they're not a good fit, but it's just like they're in it already. Like, you know what I mean? They're known to be that couple, so it's like so hard for them to want to part ways. But it's very difficult to have. I'll just relate this back to myself. Like, I remember I said this when I broke up with one of my exes. Like, it's like you and I are both on this journey, but we have two different destinations in mind, but we didn't communicate that to each other. So when you put if you put two people who have different destinations in mind, but they're in the same car, somebody's gonna be upset by the time we get to wherever we're going. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm in the car with you and I packed for a beach and you packed for Antarctica. Like, and it's like somebody's going to be upset, So it's like you can't force that person to go on this journey with you if that wasn't what they set out to go to. That wasn't the place that they set out to go to, you know? And when you do that to a person, it really creates a lot of resentment. And that resentment is very toxic. Resentment is very toxic. So I honestly feel like that's what's going on with those two, is that you have two people who have two different destinations in mind, and they're trying to still journey on. And they know they're not going to end. Somebody knows they're not going to end up in the place that they want to be.
There's a nice Kanye West lyric that goes with what you said.
Oh, yeah?
It says, how are we in the same car and you say we're not in the same lane? Think about
The
it.
music stop.
Think about it. Think about it. Anyway, you got anything else you want to say about Jada being toxic?
No, I just, like I said, I just feel like the two of, I don't believe anyone specifically is at fault. I think it's the two of them as a couple just need to reevaluate things and understand that they may not be the right fit for each other.
Oh, I did want to say something about that. So Will says that he doesn't want to ever get divorced again. So I think Jada knows that, and some people were saying she might be using that to her advantage because Will doesn't want to get divorced. He got divorced from his first wife, and he said he felt like a failure, that he failed at marriage.
Well, see, that's what I mean, where like you have this preconceived notion that divorce is failure, and maybe I don't understand this, but I'm the type of person that, you know, I don't feel what I feel like is a failure is not admitting where something isn't working, and that drags into your family life and your personal life and how you treat one another. That's a failure to me than actually just getting out of a relationship. You should just, it just would be a disservice to the both of you, you know, if you continue on in a relationship that's not meant to be.
Right.
And situations like that, it brings out the worst in two people, you know, when you have two people that don't belong together.
I don't think he would do it though.
And that's what's the worst part, is the fact that you have two people that are just continuing on where it needs not to be. I say this all the time. I had a friend that was in a relationship for a really long time. And she used to always say to me, like, oh, we just been together for so long. And I'm like, okay. And so, like, I would always be like, okay, just because you're together today doesn't mean you have to be together tomorrow. Because if you keep thinking in that aspect, you're going to continue to be together the day after that and the day after that. You know, you have to, just because you guys have been together for so long does not mean that you need to stay together. It does not mean that. Like I said, I've been in really long relationships, and instead of looking at it like a waste of time, it's never a waste of time. There's a lot to take from a failed relationship that you can bring into a successful relationship. So, you know.
Anyway, it's getting kind of late. You got any final things you want to mention?
No, I want to know, like, how you guys like this, like what you guys would want us to talk about in the next podcast. You know, if you guys can come up with some topics and we can kind of, like, you know, be more prepared. I mean, I feel like this still went pretty well, but, you know, just have a topic at hand that we want to talk about, and we can relate it to current events if we want to, or however type of way that you guys want it to go.
Yeah, I think for future podcasts, we'll probably like touch base on a lot of current events, so things that are going on. What we probably could do. Well, I'll just talk to you about it after. But yeah, so yeah. Hopefully,
when's the next one? I mean, I wouldn't mind doing this like once a week if possible.
Maybe every Wednesday we can do something like this. Every Wednesday, actually not next Wednesday because we're gonna be out of town.
We're gonna be at PAX East.
PAX East. We're gonna vlog it. So
I'm so excited to sleep past 6 o'clock in the morning.
We're gonna vlog it, so we'll have some footage of that. Yeah. So thank you for joining us for the first podcast, episode 1. We don't have a name yet, but we'll try to figure out a name and the format.
Help us come up with a name.
Yeah, a name would be good. We'll just see you all next time. You can go in Discord, give some name suggestions, some topic suggestions if you would like to. Again, we're not gonna do it next week because we're gonna be out of town, but we'll come back and do it, you know, whenever we can. Name it the slap. Yeah, no. The slap with Kang and Alyssa. Yeah. No. But anyway, thank you so much again, guys, and now we'll see you in the next one. All right. Take care. Appreciate you guys being here and appreciate you the fact that you like the show. Love you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.